Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley live with you. It is about 9 o'clock here on our Friday evening. Hopefully you're doing well. We're getting ready for the weekend, and a couple of things we have been talking about throughout the week. We have a situation going into early Saturday morning. You see the radar above my shoulder there. That's some rain trying to head our way right now. That'll be for Saturday morning. But then Sunday, we have another system that we're tracking. It's, of course, gotten more of the attention. At one point, it had looked a little bit more snowy. Now it's looking a little bit more rainy and probably a little disappointing if you're a snow lover. But let's get into the whys and the whats and the wheres. So let's get after it right now. You're looking here at the regional radar. Again, this is 9 o'clock on Friday. And what we're finding is dry weather over our area and very cold, of course. Temperatures are in the 30s locally right now. We have a little bit of rain tracking through Tennessee here. You notice some of these signatures on radar. You see some of the oranges and the reds and these type of things. That can sometimes be a signal of some ice pellets in the atmosphere. So certainly possible over in the Nashville vicinity that they could be seeing a little bit of sleet mixing in with this. And that can be the case a lot of times when you have very dry air and you bring in some moisture to it. Those raindrops cool the air down closer to the dew point, and you can sometimes form ice out of that. I think that might be the case for us tomorrow morning. I've mostly been mentioning rain for us, but it wouldn't shock me if there's a little sleet pinging at your window, making those tiny little noises as you wake up or get going early on your Saturday. So that's the first system that we're tracking, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but it is headed our way. So what can we expect from this one? Well, our futurecast is here. Has us dry, of course, through this evening. But as you get a little bit after midnight, take a look. This is around 4 a.m. Our temperatures are above freezing. They should hover right around where they are right now. They're kind of just staying steady. They're not really going one place or the other place. So staying right around freezing through tomorrow morning. What the model does like to do, though, and it's been pretty consistent with this, is for tomorrow morning, it wants to put a couple snow showers and snowflakes from Wilkesboro to Mount Airy. So something to keep an eye on. That pinkish shade usually is indicating a wintry mix of some kind, rain mixing with snow in this case. But I will tell you, anywhere in the Piedmont, it wouldn't shock me if we have some sleet mixing in with the rain. What are the bad things about sleet mixing in with rain? Nothing. There's nothing bad about it. It's fine. So we won't have any impact from that. But it is something you might notice, and I want you to know about it. Here's lunchtime, though, and we'll start to dry out at that point. Notice your temperatures are in the low 40s at that time. And then throughout the rest of the afternoon we go. It's actually a fairly warm day. So the high temperatures for tomorrow are right around 50 degrees. Right around 50 degrees. So that's something to keep an eye on. And that level of warmth is a little bit of a troublemaker and a little bit of a problem going forward into the Sunday snow chance. It is chilly outside right now. Temperatures are in the 30s. We're at about 32 already in Reedsville and 36 in Greensboro. I did want to mention this, though. The air is extremely dry. So something I've just been noticing is that with that very dry level of air right now, we might miss some of the rain tomorrow morning, but also some of that could fall as sleet, is what I was mentioning earlier. Having a little bit of a problem with this graphic here. Not sure why, but that's okay. We'll press on. So we talked about the Saturday situation. The planner for your tomorrow looks just like this. Morning snow showers are possible in our northwest counties. Snow in Surrey County, Wilkes County. Light coating would be the most you could possibly see from that. The rest of us, a sprinkle or a sleet pellet here or there, and then we're warmer for the afternoon, getting up to around 50 to 51 degrees. So that is your Saturday. Now, that's all happening as part of a little cold front sliding into the area. And behind that, you can see the system moves by very, very quickly. And then behind it, there's some extra action. Cold and dry at first, but going into Saturday evening, we notice precipitation forming and blooming and blossoming behind the cold front. That's our system. You say, oh, wait, that doesn't look that impressive. No, it really doesn't. But what's interesting about it, you can track this thing all the way down to Florida. Our model, get this, the Florida Panhandle tomorrow might have a better chance of snow than we do. Isn't that something? South Georgia too. So these areas have a better chance of snow than we do, or at least equal. So in any case, what's going on here, we have this front that's pushed by, and then you have cold air kind of advancing and moving in. As the week has gone on, it's become more clear that the weather setup in this situation is not good for us. We have a high pressure over here, and what high pressure does with a winter storm or a winter weather situation is it provides the cold air. So what it does is it's sending in that cold air around it. Well, for our region of the country, we really want that high pressure area to be in New England or in the Northeast. The reason for that is when the high is flowing in cold air just like that right now, it's getting blocked by the Appalachian Mountains a little bit. You notice how it's colder in Atlanta than in Greensboro there? That has an implication because of the mountains are blocking some of that chill from getting our way, and it has a downslope wind. A downslope wind warms things up. So it's not great for us. We would much rather that high pressure, if you want snow, to be up here. Perfect positioning for snow is up in New England and the Northeast for our region of the country. And then you get a nice flow of cold air down the East Coast. That's perfect. That's what you want to see. And we just don't have that this time. So if anything, we are left with mostly a cold rain mixing with some wet snow for your Sunday. So there's your Saturday system again. We go through Saturday. Here is Saturday night and going into early Sunday. So around 12:30 in the morning, the overnight Saturday time frame, notice how warm it has our temperatures. And that's a bit of a problem, a really big problem, actually. It's one thing, you can get it to snow with temperatures above freezing. That's not very hard to do. All you need is for the air to be below freezing almost all the way down to the ground. And then you can have a layer of warmth closer to the ground, and the flakes probably won't melt right away. But they will melt when they hit the ground, at least within the next 5 minutes. So that's the problem. It's like you can get that coming down, but we call it kind of a white rain sometimes. You see it, it's snowing, you see it, but then it's gone just as soon as it started to fall. So that's something that I think we might be noticing going into Sunday morning. And then as the system kind of carries away from us and goes across the rest of the state, it'll continue to be a bit of a struggle for pretty much anybody. It'll be a bit of a struggle for pretty much anybody to get some snow out of this thing. So what we're left with is a storm system where it's mostly going to just be a cold rain, which is not very exciting. I know we don't really want that. We are in a drought. Rain is helpful too, but it's not exciting, right? Not exciting. So in any case, it does look to be mainly a rain event in our area too, but a little wet snow could mix in toward the end. And if you're lucky, this could stick a little bit on the grassy elevated surfaces, but yeah, I wouldn't get too excited. I wouldn't really get too excited about this. This is basically no big deal. It's no big deal is what it is. So don't get the kids excited. Our most likely thing would be that we see either no snow at all or a trace to quarter inch, half inch, something along those lines. So again, not the biggest excitement for us, but winter is not over. This is one chance for us, and then we'll have more chances. You know, there's a long way to go throughout the winter season. January only about halfway over. We have all of February left, and sometimes your chances can stretch even into March. So we have a ways to go. One of the things that we'll want to watch for and kind of question is on Sunday night, so after this is all over with, is there any lingering moisture around? So whether it be on the driveway, on the grass, on the roads, if there is, temperatures are dropping pretty low going into Monday. So for Martin Luther King Day, it'll be quite chilly. That could be an issue, but I tend to think there should be enough time. There should be enough time for a lot of those roads to dry up. So black ice, we'll keep an eye on it, but I would not be overly concerned about it at this time. Unfortunately, there's really no one having a good chance of seeing snow of about an inch with this system. Little climatology for you, just some stats about this thing. Consider this, if you're a snow lover. About 36% of our snow all time has fallen in the month of January. So January is our snowiest month, historically. After that, February, and then March. So we still have our 3 snowiest months on the board here for the month or for the winter season. And so if you're kind of giving up on winter, it's far too early to do that. It's far too early to do that because we still have so much longer to go. And also consider this. So if we look at our longer range, and boy, I'm not going to talk about storms beyond 5 to 10 days or whatever. That's not really my deal. But here's the next 6 to 10 days out of our lives. It's showing equal chances of warm and cold, so probably a mixed bag. But beyond that, in the 8 to 14 day range, that's the last couple days of January, it's showing colder than average weather. It also shows wetter than average weather. So if you kind of put 2 and 2 together, cold, moisture, I'm not guaranteeing there's going to be a snow system or something, but it just goes to show you that the weather pattern will continue, and there will probably be more chances. I don't know if we'll score, but there'll be more chances. And so, like if you're in a game of baseball, you're trying to hit a home run, you would like to have as many at bats as possible. If you're in, shooting hoops, you want to have as many shots at the goal as possible, at the basket. Not a basketball show. In any case, we are headed toward a little bit of a dud event, it seems, for Sunday with some rain, maybe a little bit of a snow mix as well. And then going beyond that, looking ahead in your 7-day forecast, there will be more cold weather. Temperatures are in the 40s and 30s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Morning lows are a lot colder than that, in the teens. So get ready. We should bump up into the 50s by the end of next week. That's a look at your forecast. Here is a little bit of an extended radar loop, which, by the way, you can find this anytime right here on WFMY+. Just click over to the 24/7 streaming radar tab.